Cookie Run is like Pokemon. Each character has a distinct and recognizable silhouette, and it's also impossible to tell who's an adult and who's a child. I'm not active in the fandom anymore, but it always boggled me as to why I think Candy Apple is 13 while Macaron is 30. So to understand my hypocrisy, I created the American ruler and started pixel counting to classify 162 Global Kingdom cookies into 5 different categories to figure out a pattern. In those 5 categories are 3 subcategories. Characters that are unanimously agreed to be adults, characters that are unanimously agreed to be children, and characters that are considered to be difficult to read, whether it be by me or some other person on the internet. I then put the controversials in a coordinate plane, with X values being how the fandom usually sees the characters versus the Y, and values being how I see them, with negative numbers meaning they're underage and positive numbers meaning they're adults. So firstly, all non-controversial 1.5 characters are children, and I won't be taking the amount of child porn a character has as evidence that the age is difficult to read. I'm pretty sure most artists did that knowing full well they were children. Okay, so first off, Wizard is mistaken for an adult because of the scarf that looks like a beard. Witchberry is more towards the middle, and being an adult or a child would not affect her story in any way. Cream Ferret, they're a caretaker, so like it's heavily implied they're an adult but widely mistaken as a child. Next, I think I missed some controversials for the 1.75 kids, whether it be association like Strawberry, people genuinely being thrown off by Poison Mushroom's English voice, or my lack of memories of where it was confirmed Candy Diver was underage. 1.75 adults do exist. I counted the pixels and they are short of being 2 heads tall. I don't know if Pastry, Pomegranate, and Mollisauce have been argued to be underage because they all mentioned to be young in the story, but otherwise I think they're agreed to be adults. Okay, so 9 had to be listed for like controversial by association because it's a blatant romance with Princess. Makes his age questionable by association because it's the only way it would work. Alchemist is often mistaken to be underage, or Headcanon to be underage. Angel is mistaken to be an adult because angels are immortal beings. Gumball is usually mistaken to be an adult from what I've seen. Carrot, I put her under association for her similarities to Beat, who's mistaken to be underage, but I probably shouldn't have. Mango, I think most people actually don't realize that this is a child. Strawberry Shock, I remember like seeing them for the first time and being all like, is that a child or just a short adult? Pumpkin Pie, I remember a rumor saying that she was an adult. I don't know where it's from. I saw the same thing with Milky Way. Rainbow Sherbet, again, and she should lean more towards the middle. She's just the same situation with Witchberry. Pavlova, I know he has like 2 different forms depending on what age he takes on, but I think that's a weird concept in itself that should be explored later. Twisted Marshmallow, I think some people assumed she was a teenager, and same with Lime. 2 heads tall children are a less common body type. I don't remember people arguing about their ages either, but they probably did. This body type is a lot more common in adults though. I might have missed a few, like some people assuming Parfait was a high schooler, but if you're wondering why Orange and Lemon are not controversial by association, because Lime's stories could be interpreted as a younger character looking up to an older sibling figure. Okay, so Gingerbrave has often been mistaken for an adult. I thought the same thing. Ninja, the Hanja comics made it very unclear by making him a student. Princess, she's argued to be a teenager, and I had to put Tiger Lily down by association since they're twins. Devil, same situation with Angel, immortal beings, so people assumed that they were an adult. Cream Unicorn, the situation with Eggnog Cookie, his testimony made it very confusing as to whether or not Cream Unicorn was underage. Macaron, I have seen people like mistake her for a child. Queen Amon, me personally, I just thought she was a teenager when I first saw her. Cream Show, a lot of people debated whether or not she's a teenager. Red Mantis, I personally just wasn't sure if she was supposed to be like a teenager or an adult. Candy Apple is confirmed to be an adult, like 17 to 19, but I don't know, my brain just can't comprehend that this is an adult for some reason. Black Forest, I think some people thought she was just a teenager with religious psychosis or something. Oh god, I've seen a lot of people mistake her to be an adult. Cream soda, this is a genuine enigma to me. I don't know myself. And grapefruit, I have seen people mistake her to be an adult. We then get into the opposite of 1.5 and get into 2.25, where supposedly no child characters, and yes, even though Crunchy Chip's running joke is being the short one, his body is longer than his head. Alright, back to a smaller sample. Prune juice and capsaicin are basically both here by association for Queen Amon, since I don't know what ages Academy can include. And Silverbell, again, this is just a me issue. The baby face made me think he was a child at first. And these are all the 2.5 characters, and I don't think anybody's arguing about whether or not these are children. So what can I conclude from this? I have a lot of hypotheses, but for now, how I interpret the data has to depend on extra research on how the psyche interprets ages. What I can conclude is that Quadrant 1 is rarely used, and when it is, it's used as a stand-in for the middle of the plane. And I'd like to believe this is because I'd rather assume a character is underage and be wrong than assume a character is an adult and be wrong. But what do you think? Anything I miss? Anything you disagree with? Should I continue researching this, or should I spare myself from the insanity that made me leave this goddamn fandom in the first place?